how governments deceive the public by swapping meanings. Okay, let me start here by saying and making it clear that every letter is a word. Every letter is a word because these letters, they have a meaning. So you'll notice if you've done any kind of research, you'll know that there's a number put on letters or a number value that letters have. When you start seeing people do numerology and certain things, these letters have a number, which really is a frequency, all right? So what happens is when you speak these letters, the frequency resonates with your cells within your vessel or your DNA. This is why we speak about being very careful about the words that come out of your mouth, because everything you say resonates and has a resonant frequency with your DNA. So when you speak, you are literally writing your DNA. You're writing what's happening in your third dimension. How do I say the word without being, I don't want to be mean or disrespectful, but we don't recognize the power of the words that are coming out of our mouth. And so when you speak and you're saying things, we have to start to recognize that we're always constantly writing a contract. You're constantly writing contracts. So be careful. If you're saying something negative, then understand that that is something that will show up in your future. You wrote it. So for example, the term, that word, and I don't like to speak it, but that BROKE word that people like to put behind I am, that's a contract. When you're constantly saying that, that has to show up in your future. You said it. So that means it's got to be. Your subconscious only is going to deliver to you what you're speaking to it. And if that's what you're speaking and it's constantly negative, then that's what's got to show up. Okay? So getting back to this, every letter is a word and it has a resonant frequency. And when you speak it, it has to show up in your DNA in your future. So as I go into this, we're understanding that every letter is a word. So when you start talking about a word is really a compound word because it's got letters in it. So it's really what you're looking at is a compound word. So a word is a contract. That's what it is. A word is a contract. Your name is a contract. This is why you'll see people, they'll put the letters in your name together and there's a, whatever the number is, the ending number is telling certain things about your path or your life path or what your name means. Okay, your name is a contract. Okay, so now as we get into this, now we have the understanding. Every letter is a word. Every word is a compound word. Every word is a contract. You need to recognize that when you speak these words, you are writing a contract. And again, the contract shows up in your third dimension. You have told your subconscious this contract, and now your subconscious is going to produce it for you. So that BROKE word, if you're saying that and you have the nerve to put I am in front of that word, then you are deserving of whatever financial issues you get as you come into your future because you have spoken it. And that's all your subconscious can produce for you. So now that we're understanding that, I need to get into some of these terms that we are taking on, and we're not recognizing that we're writing a contract for ourselves. Now, I want to get into my melanated people because my melanated people feel like they've got it the hardest. All right. And I need it to be made clear that once again, we continue to write contracts with our words because we have been deceived into saying things and not recognizing the impact that they have on us spiritually. I'm going to talk about this word first. I'm getting into this one first because this is a big one. The term black. I need to break this down because we're not recognizing not only the true etymology of this term, we don't even recognize the spiritual ramifications for using this term. All right. So I'm going to go into the etymology, and you'll look up etymology. It's really dealing with the root or the basis or the origin of a word. Black, let's understand that this word means dead. Legally, the word means dead. It means imbecile. It means someone who is without standing, someone who cannot own anything. That's what the term black means. Even if you break down the letters, B as in to be, lack as in not to have. B as in to be, lack as in not to have. Be lack. Okay, I'm gonna go further. The term black is derived from the term bleak, B-L-E-A-K, or B-L-A-E-K. Look up those terms. Be bleak, as in not to have or to be without. Bleak means pale and without color. Bleak means pale and without color. The term black comes from the term bleak, to not have. When you look up anything concerning the word white in Spanish, Italian, French, if it starts with a BL and ends with a K sound, it means white or pale and without color. What I'm saying to you is that this is a term that has been switched. Originally, this term was not applied to melanated people. This term originally dealt with people who were not supposed to have certain access to amenities that people who are from the land have. It was not applied to melanated people. It was applied to non-melanated people. But the term has been switched today. I'm going to go further. And I want all my melanated people to pay attention. I'm not just talking to melanated people. This particular section is for my melanated people, but I'm not just talking to melanated people right now. I'm going to talk to everybody, so stay tuned. I want you to take a look at any organization that has the term black, colored, Negro in it, all right? And I want you to do some research and find out who actually owns those organizations. When we're talking about Black Lives Matter, even NAACP, we're talking about Black Caucus. What else? Anything with black. And there's several others that we can name that have those terms black in it. Oh, here you go. This is another one. HBCU. Historically black colleges and universities. I want you to understand who owns those organizations. They're not melanated. Every last one of those organizations that I just named are owned by the Jews. Every last one of them. There's only one historically black college and university that's not owned by the Jews, and that's Morris Brown in Atlanta, and they were shut down at some point. I'm letting you know that this is a term that has been deceptively put on melanated people, and you are not aware of the fact that it has nothing to do with you, and the fact that you keep taking on the title. You continue to damn yourself. When you say you are black, you are saying that you are dead. Let's be clear on that. When you're saying you are black, you are saying you have no legal standing. You are making a contract, not only with the government, but on a spiritual level. You are saying you do not deserve, you lack. You're saying you have no ownership. You're even saying you're not alive. So all this Black Lives Matter, you wouldn't have to be saying that if you really knew who you were. And then the people who are encouraging you to say that, they're not even for you. If I told a lie, I want you to put it in the comments section, because somebody is offended every time we tell the truth and the facts about who owns these organizations. You want to start talking about races. There is no races in the facts. What is the fact? I just gave you 4 organizations, and then I have somebody else who put up United Negro College Fund. Go and look up who's owning these organizations. If it's a fact, then we're not talking about no racist. The fact is, the owners of all of those are Jews, so-called Jews, because we know really who the original Jews were. This is not about racist. This is about what the facts are. This term, white. White was not originally applied to light-skinned people. It was originally applied to your melanated folks coming over here from other lands who were considered royalty. Those were your original white people. It had nothing to do with skin color. It had to do with a status. But those terms have now been switched, and there's a deception whereby melanated people are calling themselves dead, and another group of people have taken on a term that was never applied to them or meant for them.